Hi, I'm Dale Powell, and welcome to that spirit of story time. I want to get right into the story today, but if you would, please take a moment, hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps me a lot. I want to tell you a story that I'm calling The Night He Didn't Run, but it's based on a classic short story by Langston Hughes called Thank You, Ma'am. Let me tell you about a night, actually morning, it was pre-dawn, but before 5 a.m., that didn't go the way anyone expected. It was dark, but dawn was approaching. It was one of those times where the streets mostly quiet. You ever see someone and think, that person's got everything together? Well, boy didn't feel like that at all. It was still night to him because he hadn't been home, if what he had could be called a home, and he spots a woman walking ahead of him. Big purse, heavy strap, just swinging there. She hadn't been home either, but she worked all night in the hospital. He spots her big purse, so he goes for it. Oh yeah, he goes for it. But here's the thing. It doesn't go the way he planned. He grabs the purse, the strap gives, but instead of running, the weight of the purse and the grip of the woman causes him to fall flat on his butt, where the woman has placed her foot, holding him face down on the sidewalk. Oh, yeah. And before he can even get up, she's on him. She doesn't scream. She doesn't panic. She grabs him. She lifts him up like she's done this before. She looks him dead in the eye and says, "You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Now you pick up my pocketbook and give it to me." Now, it's like now she's scripting his life, and he's ashamed, and he does exactly what she says. He picks up the purse and he hands it to her. She asks him, "Why'd you do it?" He doesn't answer, or at least not with anything that makes any sense. Nothing that holds up. But she demands an answer, so she calls him out. "Why did you try to make off with my pocketbook?" Weakly, he answered, "I wanted to buy a pair of shoes like I saw in the sporting goods store." "Well, you didn't have to steal my pocketbook. There's other ways you can make money, you know." "Worst comes to worst, you could have asked me." "Ma'am?" he says. That last part threw the boy a little. He wasn't used to adults giving him things he'd asked for, and this woman actually seemed like she meant it. She doesn't let him go, although he begs her to, but she reminds him that it was he who put himself in contact with her. So this contact is going to last a little while. "If I let you go, will you run?" "Well, yes, ma'am." "So then I'm not going to let you go." Instead of letting him go, or calling the police, or instead of yelling, she takes him home, drags him all the way there. And what's he thinking? He's thinking about running the whole time. But he doesn't. Not even sure he could if he tried, because she was holding him firmly. She gets to the apartment and they go inside. And they turn on the light. She looks at him and says, "You go wash your face." Not knowing what else to do, he obeys. She doesn't give him a lecture, but there's a lesson, and not the kind he's expecting. She asks him if he's eaten. Well, he's been out all night. He hasn't. So she feeds him, because she sees something in him that might remind him of herself just a little bit. A kid who made a bad decision, but maybe not a bad kid. She leaves her purse right inside of him. in the other room where he could have grabbed it again and ran, but he doesn't. Yeah, he notices it, but something has changed. It's not the same night that it started out to be. But he figured she'd gone as long as she could. He was sure. Here came the lecture. I was young once, and I wanted things I could not have. Here it comes, he figured. He didn't expect what she said next. Uh-huh. You thought I was going to say, but I didn't steal anyone's purse. Well, I wasn't going to say that. Oh, there's plenty of things that I've done that I'm not proud of. I've done things I wouldn't tell you. I wouldn't tell God if he didn't already know. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying I learned to do better. They sit. They eat. She talks about her life. She talks about how she works long hours and spends a lot of time on her feet, but she meets a lot of interesting people. She likes it because she likes to meet different kinds of people. There's lots of things you can do when you work, just like she liked meeting him. She doesn't dig into his life, and she doesn't shame him. She tells him that if he presents himself nicely, keeps himself cleaned up, and doesn't get in a lot of trouble, he can work and have a nice life if he just tries. And then she looks at him and says, "Here, son, eat some more." They finish the meal, and he helps her put the dishes into the sink and offers to wash them. But she says, "No, son, I'm tired. I need you to run on because I need to get my rest." But before she does, she takes the boy firmly by the shoulders and leads him into the next room. Oh boy, he thought to himself, this is when I get punished. It's the room where she left her purse. She picks it up and opens it. She pulls out a sum of money and hands it to him. Now here's where she says, "Now you take this money and you get yourself the shoes you want. But I want you to know something. Don't you ever make the mistake of taking my pocketbook or anybody else's pocketbook, because shoes got by devilish ways will burn your feet." He's shocked, and he looks at the bills, a few 10s and 20s, not the $3 to $4 he's used to scraping by with. No way, he thought. Way. And she tells him, "Behave yourself." Oh, he's heard those words many times before, but it meant something this time. He stands there, dumbfounded. He doesn't have the words. He wants to say something, but she's ushering him out the door and is closing it. He wants to say something, but the words won't come out. So what does he say? Just, "Thank you, ma'am," very weakly. But the door is closing.